mean, flipping. I was gonna say something very graphic now. I caught it.
Yeah.
I put it down.
Thanks.
Only boys.
But we
Does that have something to
glorify.
do with like Hawk Tweet?
Get out of my brain. Like and subscribe.
Welcome to the GenC podcast. I am your host.
My bro, like
JP
you
Jackson.
changed it up.
That's how we play a game.
Yeah.
Welcome to the audio listeners.
Don't stop it.
Yo.
You like.
He just wanted to have a moment, bro. Like, why?
But listen. You see this having a moment, then it's taking my moment. That's where it's at,
Your
man.
moment.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you know what? It's fine. Hi, JP.
Hello, Rizaan. How are you?
Thank you.
So you can say hi to them.
Yo, it's fine.
It's okay.
Oh, so
That's-
you're not greeting the audio listeners.
Hello, audio.
See,
You can't resist it, bro.
Yeah,
You
cheek to
can't.
cheek.
You can't
I
resist
can't
it,
just
bro.
go on.
You
Rhoda.
really can't.
Who do we have in the middle today, guys? Because like you guys are getting carried away. You forget that we have guests.
Yeah,
we
we-
always
yeah,
have this
yeah.
intimate
We like-
moment between boys, between
we-
brothers, cheek to cheek.
Is this how you
Unnecessary.
start? Like, all
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
At least like there's people that watch it every week. So
We have subscribers.
I guess there's some people that enjoy it.
Got you.
No, but it's like too because like I was telling them earlier, just a tangent straight
Yeah,
off
go
the
for
bat.
it.
Say the back.
Paul was unwell, and I had my cousin help me film one night, and we like started recording, my bro, and he like 6 minutes into the recording, he comes to me and he's like, "Bro, we've been rolling for 6 minutes. Are you not gonna start soon?" And we like, "Bro, we've done the show. This is the show." So that's how professional we are.
Professionally unprofessional.
Got you. Okay.
That's us, man.
But it's quiet because like we're here for a conversation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so like, how do you have a conversation? Just be like, let's have a conversation now. You know what I'm saying? But we just sort of like, you know that thing that happened, and then the conversation just sort of rolls in.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's awkward now. But the person in the middle is someone you actually do know. We should have actually made him do the intro. We
Yeah.
should have actually. Had we missed an opportunity?
Yo.
Missed an opportunity.
You had one job.
We, Wallahi. Literally.
Yeah.
But in the middle we have Mr. Only Pans himself.
Because then you were How much time you were
And what put on the timer, bro? Countdown, boy.
so that white I see this is how we starting.
Welcome, Darren.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome.
So, for some of the audience that do not know you, do you mind just giving a quick introduction as to who is Darren Campher?
Yeah, so I make content on socioeconomics and politics. I run a business where I teach people about the financial markets, not the Lamborghini, triple story, women in bikinis kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We actually have to do real work, and then you learn about the financial markets. And that's pretty much it. Been in business for quite a while now. My background is in business and investments, insurance, that kind of thing. So started off on the business route and then branched off into socioeconomics and politics, and that's where most of you know me from.
Nah, listen, sorry. Business JP has you like.
Yeah.
No, but something that's so great about Darren is that you always had a passion for entrepreneurship, right? Because in 2017 you won the second prize for your first company, Amazing Designs. So, which obviously has also led to many other types of things. So,
Oh, you want to hear about that?
I want to hear about it. Because apparently, like, you know, the two of you have been having conversations off air.
So there was a competition that the city of Cape Town had, for small business owners or startup companies. Myself and my cousin entered a company called Random Design. It was one of the first businesses we started. My cousin is an architect, and I was obviously a business student at the time. I was lecturing as well. So we tried our luck with it, and then we ended up winning second place.
Yo. Decent.
How does that like? How does that even work? Like, what do you do? How do you apply? And stuff
You
like
basically present on either an existing business or you present a business model or a concept, and then whether it's a business model or it's an existing business, they will score it irrespective of what it's like, and then you win some money and you win some business support, that kind of thing. So yeah, that was they liked the idea at least.
Nice.
Was very, very new in business at the time, so it was absolute failure. It was really tough.
But it's lessons learned, right?
Yeah.
It's if you didn't
I
go.
would not take it back. It was a very expensive lesson learned. But me and my cousin were very happy that we went on that venture for sure. That's the nature of business. Yeah.
I would actually say something that's like.
Thank you for bringing up that painful memory, by the way.
It wasn't meant to be painful.
No,
I was
I'm just
merely
joking. I'm
just.
joking.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship is fun, guys.
Yo, that's fair.
Yeah.
Some of us says that like, why work a 9 to 5 when you can just walk 24/7?
Yes.
What? You can be your own boss.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro, I don't even like me. What are you talking about? What are you Anyway, so I was going to say, I was actually introduced to your content like the first time when you were speaking about trading or... I think it was trading, or was it forex trading, one of the two. And I was like, no. I'm like, nah, I don't care for this. I feel like it's giving scam. Like I'm tired of it. But you are such an authentic presence, and after a while it's like, oh wait, maybe it's not giving scam.
So the thing is, it's tricky because like banks trade foreign currency. Your pension fund right now is trading in foreign currency. Your provident fund, whatever the case is holding foreign currency. Our reserve bank is holding foreign currency. So whether you believe in it or not, it's happening. It's one of those things where people are like, forex is a scam. I was like, it doesn't really matter. It's happening. Like whether you want it to or not, it's going to be happening. So it's just a matter of whether you are okay with institutions doing it with your money, whether you like it or not, or you doing it for yourself. Now, whether you can do it for yourself successfully is another story entirely. Now, that's where the scamming comes in.
Okay.
Because now some mugu is going to rent a car and tell you that you're going to be able to do it for your whole life, and you're going to be able to like have a Lamborghini and a triple story house and it's going to be all rainbows and sunshines and freaking unicorns, and it's just not going to happen. But it can become a very real component of your income, and you can possibly beat what the bank might do or what your asset manager might do. For sure, you can do that. But whether you're going to live some kind of billionaire lifestyle, you could make the same kind of promise where I say, listen, if you sell enough bottles of water, you're going to be a billionaire. This is about the same. Do you know what I mean? But if you sell enough bottles of water, you can probably make some decent income. Do you know what I mean? It's the same level of like, so... That's the thing. It's just another way of making money. It's going to be happening whether you think it's a scam or not. It's just about to what scale you want to do it. Now, if I told you you're going to make R1 billion selling glasses, you're going to be like, I'm sure I can make some money selling glasses, but how many glasses? They're the same thing. It's what scale are you going for? So it's going to happen. It's there. It's very real. But when people promise you crazy things and they're like, listen, give me your money. And then, because it's difficult, I understand. And then I do it for you. And then I give you some back. And then I just don't show my face ever again. So that's what happens. So that's the scamming part. So I don't do that. I just teach people how it works, what to do, and we mind our business. That's all. I just work with my students and we mind our business. Like what I've done now is I've literally stopped promoting it. The platform is there. People reach out to me. I teach them, and we leave each other alone. And when they need help, they reach out to me. Otherwise, we don't bother. I don't know how much they make. Sometimes they reach out to me. One bra reached out to me and it was like, hey, I'm busy opening my third account with this amount. I said, with how much? I said, my bro.
You said what?
Yeah. And then there was like, I actually made a YouTube video with like this 19-year-old lady, and he started with me in like May 2022. By November, he was killing it, and I was like, you little so that happened. So I just I show them the ropes, and then they mind their business and we leave each other alone.
And is that just because you've always just focused on the education aspect? Because like you said, building your... Because this is how you sustain yourself, right? Part of what is used to sustain yourself.
So I don't trade all the time. Because I'm not like necessarily the best trader I know. And I've said this many times, like lots of people. So I trade sometimes, and then sometimes I leave it alone because I'm like, and then it's like, oh, this is hard. and then I do it, and then I leave it alone. And then I obviously get an income from some of the students. But because I don't like, you must come learn from me, I don't do that anymore because it just looks bad. Yeah. And there's, I don't want to do that because there's no way of getting around people thinking that it's a scam.
Yeah.
So I just leave it there. Yeah. And if people reach out to me, I send them info. Yeah. We go back and forth a bit, and then they decide.
So now let's move away from that conversation. Right? Something that I think the content that you make also it gives us a flavor of is this idea of critical thinking, right? Not just taking everything at face value, doing research and coming to a conclusion. Now, we've been in a society where we've been told what to do, when to do it, how to do it. And we've relied on media houses and that sort of thing to get this information to us, right? So for you, what was that moment, at least the first time you had or exercised this kind of critical thinking that has now obviously spiraled into this whole persona that you have online?
Ooh, like what was the moment that like hectic? So we need to take like a 2-week break and then I'm gonna reflect. Hectic. There was definitely a few moments. I think one long moment or one long period had to be studying business.
Okay.
It's a horrible experience. Because all you learn is how to screw over the world financially.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Keep your costs low, keep your profit high.
Oh, wow.
At all costs.
Yeah.
Oh, but at the end, later on,
You'll get a piece.
Environment, social, governance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Try.
The capitalist
That
is breaking.
At the end, after years and years and years of supply and demand, then you learn. And then obviously I spent a bit of time in the corporate world, in finance, in asset management and insurance. They didn't like me there. I won't mention one of the company's names, but at one of the companies in orientation, I was in orientation with the CEO. And then I'm going to try not to go into details because otherwise we're going to figure out.
Put one in.
So I was in orientation with one of the companies, and then they had said that majority of the income comes from investing the money, not from the money that people actually pays them. But they had also said that they try and price out people in high-risk areas. So I said, so most of the money you make doesn't come from the money that people pay you. And they're like, yeah. So I'm like, okay. But the people that need your services the most, you price them out. And they're like, and I'm like, you don't think that sounds cuck? And they're like, well, you see, you need to mitigate this. And I was like, and then the CEO started, well, you know, and I just looked at them. And I was like, yeah, you're as cuck as you sound. I didn't last very long. So there was a process being exposed to, and then I think when you start like having little bits of critical thinking and you use it and then people slap at it. And then you're like, what happened now? And then you try it again. And then the same thing happens. And then you're like, interesting.
Yeah.
And then you keep doing it and now you can't stop.
That's fun.
Cooking.
Like, I'm scared. Because I have stuff to say.
Say it though.
You are dangerous. Nah, because like, I was like, just to sort of switch gears, one of the things that I've, like a feeling that I've held for so long is that it's like, it's unethical to be a billionaire.
Yeah.
You can't have that money and think like, nah, you are actually a benefit to society. Like I've had that belief. Like you just like
you.
it's categorically like wrong.
It's unnecessary.
The math doesn't math. And I've held that belief for so long that like hearing him sort of like just study what you study and then like come to them like, oh, and this is like accepted information. This is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
This is
And sometimes celebrated, right?
sometimes.
I mean,
Bro, flipping. I was gonna say something very graphic now. I caught it.
Yeah.
I put it down.
Thanks.
only boys.
But we
Does that have something to
glorify.
do with like hawk tweet?
Get out of my brain. Like and subscribe. But we do.
Remember, it's $9.99.
No, but we seriously we glorify the pursuit of profit, and it's like where did we go wrong? You know what I'm saying? Where did we go wrong? And I didn't even have a question right now. I'm just like I'm just gonna riff. I'm just gonna riff right now. So I'm just gonna riff. I'm vibes. So. Because like, is there a single billionaire? That's my question. That we think that okay, cool, no, they are going the right direction.
I think even if there is one that happened to by some miracle acquire it by ethical means, which by some miracle, by some
biggest miracle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
yeah.
by some
Say
magical even at that level, like if I were to take all 3 glasses of water, keep it here, and you were to be like, I'm thirsty, and I'll be like, okay, now clean my shoes first. You'd be like, me, I'm thirsty. Like I'm gonna without it. You know what I mean? And that's so even if I earned all 3 of those glasses of water, just the mere fact that I would hold on to more than I need doesn't matter how I got it.
Yeah.
Because now let's say all the billionaires did work hard. Which I it made me nod just to say But even if they did,
Same.
say my name. I can feel my face like on the other side just saying it like it's not my face like that.
Yeah.
Even if they did, it doesn't make sense morally and ethically to be like, yeah, but it's mine.
Yeah.
Because people are literally.
But you also had an opinion on a billionaire taking over the way freedom of speech is described.
Oh, that bro.
The miner. The guy that is into mines, emerald mines.
No, he's not
very smart. He's really not very smart. The one that believes in white genocide. Yes.
So your view there was that the freedom of speech is, or what the fact that he took it over was that it would lead to not freedom of speech but actually freedom of consequences.
Whoa.
Hectic. You remember that was 2022. That's before we bought the platform. How did you find that? Okay, yeah. That was. Do you know the people who did that interview with me don't even work for that company anymore? Yes.
Listen,
He does that, bro.
you don't have to come back.
Yeah, that is what I said. I got so much heat for that. And now the platform is full of openly racist, bigots, misogynists, the whole 9 yards, and people are just having a field day on there. Like, you can literally go on that platform right now, and if anybody says any kind of bigotry or discrimination doesn't exist, you can just, right here.
But you know why? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, no, go for it.
Oh, so you know why? So apparently with this whole blue check mark, whatever, they pay you now for this content. So people are doing it for money.
Yeah, I call it rage farming.
Yeah.
People are truly like trying to say the most heinous thing
Yeah.
in response to this, and it's like, and it's always the usual suspects: race baiting, something about gender. You know, like the usual, and it's like, wait, that's why. Just to sort of switch it quickly.
But
go for it.
Loki, what did you expect from somebody born in apartheid to fled the country and made money from his dad's emerald mine when he bought the platform? You know what I mean?
Yeah, what did we expect?
I think we must also lower our expectations for apartheid beneficiaries.
It's like
Sorry,
enough. Because like, yeah. So I don't know if you've kept up, and I don't know how this makes you feel. I don't know if you guys kept up with this whole Tyla situation. I feel like that is so forced. Like I feel like that can't be genuine. Like what criticism is she's getting now?
Oh.
So the whole thing about Tyla is that she's not recognizing her blackness in the eyes of the American public while trying to profit off the American people's culture. Something to that effect. That's like the reading that I have of this. But again, she's not the type of person to be making this type of, position. So, like, have you guys seen anything about this? What you...
Tyler's just a 22-year-old artist with a vibe, bro.
Yes.
And I understand that she's being put in a position to speak about it, and she's made several statements about it. I don't know how much more the world wants from her. I don't know how much more the media wants from her. I low-key feel like she's done enough. And I feel like enough people have come up and had a conversation and given enough context. Also, she's not the first person to face this flack from the US. We must also lower our expectations for the US.
Sure. But yes, because I think there's this idea that because a large reason for her global success is because she got popular in America, but they attached that popularity to the fact that she was part of this said community, where from the start she said, "I'm colored. I've always been colored."
Yeah.
And it's almost as if, because they keep chasing headlines, they'll always push this question to her.
Yeah.
And that, but you must be black. You must be black.
Yeah.
And she's just said, I'm not. And they can't accept that.
That's why
And
if they
it's
really don't, all they need to do is just stop consuming her music. Man, they're not doing that. So
Yeah. What's interesting I thought about this is that, like, we on this platform asked that question of, what does it mean to be colored? We don't, like, not in so many words. But like in the summation of our episodes, we try and answer that question. And we come to the conclusion that, like, there's no one answer.
Yeah.
But I think America's very, very popular exposure to a person of South Africa who is of that tone is not colored. Trevor Noah is not a colored person.
But he also admitted it.
You know what I'm saying? Whereas she, and I think that's now this, like, but they probably think Trevor Noah said he's black. Why don't you say that? Why is
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think we should install over the expectations. I don't think we should expect them to understand the nuance of a completely different country when they have, like, do you know, from the outside, from us looking into the, listen, maybe I just think
Yes.
maybe that country should first sort out their Native American indigenous rights. Then they can come and talk about what we need to do and how we need to sort out our cultural differences and all that kind of stuff. Because there's a lot of things that every colonized country needs to deal with. And so I just think it's tricky, to say the least, to want to not just lack the understanding, but then impose your understanding or template onto another colonized country's experience without the nuance of understanding, whilst your own is messed up. So come, you sort out yours, and we'll sort out ours. And let's have a bit of
So let me bring it back home, Darren, if you don't mind.
I was going to do the same thing, quality.
So I know, I alluded to your critical thinking earlier, right? But in our own community, we are also taught to listen to your pa, listen to your mommy. And when we do come
from a critical thinking background, it's almost seen as disrespectful.
Shame, man.
So did your parents create this environment for you to question, ask, and push back? Or was this just something you developed as you grew older?
They did, but then I even pushed past what they were comfortable with.
They gave me the hand into the
I had a conversation with my dad a few years ago. And I had aired my opinion on something that he wasn't very happy about. And he was like, you know the way I did that, and you all just immediately laughed because
Yeah, Model C.
So the way he immediately did that, right? And I just looked at him and I told him, you know the way you raised me. What did you think was gonna happen?
Yo.
I was like, what did you honestly think? How did you think this was gonna go down? You created this monster. And then he was just like, what will you eat? That's so they did shame. They definitely tried, and then I pushed past those boundaries of theirs, and to some extent they then broke their own. So they're getting there. Shame, man.
I have a similar thing with my mom specifically, where I was struggling with mental health, and she was of the like, just make dua, you know. She was on that like, just pray type buzz, like that's not the thing, you can act right type vibe. But now over the years she softened and even like is extremely supportive of mental health and mental health support and stuff like that. So it is possible. We like, unfortunately, we are the generation that sort of changes things, that breaks the chain. I thought you were going to talk about our country, man.
No, you can go ahead.
Yeah, because I feel like we can't have that in here and not talk about the absolute disaster class that is South African politics.
What do you mean?
Yeah, like, what do I mean?
What do you mean?
It's totally fine. Let me ask you this. Like, having done some of like the work and listened to the conversation, what was your expectations and how has the result sort of like just subverted? Because I feel like that's the correct word. You are did you actually like see this coming?
If I go back and watch my own content, right, I can see how from maybe last year, maybe September, October, November, December, Feb, going into maybe even into March, very like and then I feel like in some videos you can see the denial set in. Even like you can see me becoming like hopeful, and you know where it came from? I feel like it came from some of my followers also becoming very despondent, and I was like, just push on, guys, still get out there, still go, because you don't want people to like just give up and then not vote or anything like that. So you always want people to use whatever avenues they are, not just one, use all of them. At the time, this was one of the biggest ones. So I didn't want people to feel demotivated, but I feel like in trying to motivate people to use this particular one, even me, I was like, hey, maybe you know,
if we can just
and then I look at it and I was like, bro, but you knew. So no, I knew this is where it was going to go.
But I do think, and we've alluded in some of our previous episodes, the way you thought about it, I think, was more important than actually what you were trying to explain. Because when you gave people kind of the template of how you decided on your political party, it made others think about how they decide on theirs. And I think that for me was probably the most beneficial video of your series, was that just highlighting the fact that this is the decision that you are making. Whereas a lot of political parties were using we the best, don't vote for them, but now they're all in the GNU.
I was just joking more for friends now.
No, but those are the types of. That's actually funny.
Which is funny because today. So remember one, and not to get too technical, but remember one of the biggest things I said is focus on policy because that's how they shape the society. These are the policy. Just think of policy as rules.
Think of the whiteboard that you made.
You know what I mean? These are the rules they are making. Each party wants to make their own rules. Yeah. They don't agree on the rules. A certain party, the one with the most votes, released a statement today saying, no, they do agree on the rules. The media mustn't lie.
Sure. But they wrote in their own.
Nah, but like full dusky.
But Godzilla said last night. She said last night. Listen.
He's activated.
She said last night. She said last night. We are not here to implement the green, black, and yellow party's policies. And then that bra comes today and says, we all on board making the same policies. Okay. Shut.
So I was gonna say, this, what is playing out makes sense because that party, the green, yellow, and black party, their manifesto is a suggestion. That's not a thing that they follow. That's a suggestion. So they had flexibility from the beginning. I'm not lying.
So the thing is, look. Here's the thing.
You say because it was you knew.
That was a like like a wedding contract written in pencil, man, in disappearing ink. That was a prenup with vibes.
So the thing is, with other parties, right? They don't have absolute power to implement their manifesto.
Okay.
So with them, you have to measure them based on if we had the authority, this is what we would do. We don't have anything because they don't have the authority to implement it. We must measure them on that. But that party, that one was like, listen, we're gonna do this. We have the ability to do this. And then the vote comes in and they're like, do what?
They would go with Nix. That's not funny.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's not funny.
But obviously,
and then when the next 5 years comes and they're like, we were busy.
Yeah.
We were busy. Didn't you see? Yeah, we're saying we were busy. We said it in this one. We said it. We've been busy. And we're like, okay.
So obviously you've also shared your personal preference in describing how you make a decision and how those. Then obviously there's calls for you were bought or your opinion was then paid for and stuff like that, which comes with how you. How you
I
were
posted
describing.
and I said everybody knows I got paid except my bank account.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Yes.
So what I was trying to say is that you even in trying your best to explain your methodology and how you got to that, there's still this element that anybody online can be bought.
Okay.
Anybody's opinion has a price. We used to have a price. Email for more details.
That's a joke, guys.
That's a joke.
You with all best intentions, you try to be as neutral as possible. But obviously, you also have a preference. So how did you feel navigating that line between being informative but not telling people what to do?
So I medically have a bias.
Yeah.
And my bias is towards whatever favors the majority. And that bias now towards the majority happens to be socialism because we're living in capitalism. And do you like it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do you like it? Nice. Okay. You know what I mean? So obviously, bias is towards socialism. Most of our land and businesses are privately owned. Is it fun? You see. So that's why the bias is away from that.
Yeah.
So
He's asking them.
He's asking them. They can say no. You can be like in the comments like, hey, it actually is nice for me and like the two other people, and then you look at your neighbor who wants to rob you, probably not. So my bias has always been towards the majority.
Yeah.
And that's where it will be. Even when I said that I had supported that particular party, and then it was written about in the August, and it was written about in IOL, and I posted about it myself. I said, if that particular party, if their ethos ever moves away from the majority,
You'll move.
immediately.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And that's how it should be.
Yes.
Because the ANC was also for the majority at one point, and then
Yeah.
so, and that's how it should be. You can't side with a party that betrays the people. Any organization, you can't. Why would you do that? Doesn't make sense. So, bias 100%, but towards what? And I have no problems with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I consumed this one content creator, we don't have to say names. And he basically calls everyone in the media is a propagandist. Like everyone is essentially a propagandist. You just need to be able to, tell the sensationalists apart though. And I mean, I was going to say like a Piers Morgan, for example, horrendous. But we don't have to get into that.
Yeah, please.
What I do want to actually ask you is, you spoke about voting as, you said this is the thing or this is the mechanism, whatever, that we can use at this time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What other mechanisms, what other apparatus are there for people that we should be looking out for now, that the number starts now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, where we spend our money is very, very important.
Jackie, that means something where I love.
Oh, we must blur more stuff out.
Yeah, but you don't love where I love. It's fine. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so where we spend our money is very important.
Okay.
As difficult as that is, I know sometimes we can't even control it. It's
Yeah.
like there's not a single bank you can put your money in except for one, like maybe the African Bank and Thai Bank. All the other banks, white monopoly capital owned. Or they were part of the 28 banks that rigged the currency. Anyway, but what I'm saying is there is certain areas where there's room to like literally not spend. Like I was saying, if you don't like Tyla's music, then don't support it. But we should do the same with how we spend our money. That's part of one of the organizations that I'm working with / looking at, and that has now started, where we're going to help people identify where to spend their money, where not to spend their money, various other forms of protest. Because people want to know how they can kind of actively
100%.
be involved in stuff. So it's not just about like how you vote, it's also about where you spend your money, it's about where you spend your time, it's what kind of social media content you engage with, because when you give people platforms, you also empower people. And then there's also where you choose to work. But that is tricky because unemployment in a country like this makes it hard. But that's kind of where government and policy needs to get involved. But as consumers, our labor and our money is extremely important.
Okay.
It's one of the most powerful tools we have. So that's what we're trying to really look at. If we can be strategic with that, you can make some serious damage. And sometimes you don't need to do enough to take something down. You just need to do enough to let the sector or industry know you're serious.
So I was gonna say, I was thinking something like that, where it's about tackling an industry, because obviously industries are interconnected. Like transport helps healthcare, or transport helps employment, or education helps this, whatever the case may be. If we can strategically, collectively.
Yeah. But I think also, like, we also should just not be scared to create our own ecosystems.
Ooh.
So, because like you said, we in the system, so it's hard to discern between what is for your neighbor and what is not.
Yeah.
But like, if you have that person that is selling kusistas or is making clothes, buy from that person, because you know exactly where the money is going to, right?
Yeah.
It's going to that family. And if we start with one family, it can be two families. And that's kind of how you build this ecosystem, where you know where the money is going.
Yep.
Until to the point where it is a sustainable environment on its own without having anything come in. And I think that's in the complication of our lives in capitalism, it's hard to see that. It's hard to see the connection between the salary that you pay and the businesses or the groceries you buy
Right.
end up in your house and where that money goes to
Yeah.
feed back into the system. It's hard to picture that. But we also remember there was a time where I only got bread if I gave you fish.
Yeah.
I only got something because I exchanged something with you. And the idea that it's going to another person that you know
Yeah.
is even better. Even if it is that little bit more.
So that's the nature of capitalism. It allows me to get something for nothing, and that nothing is money.
Yeah.
So, and I can store the value of that nothing in form of inheritance, and then I can convert that to property and whatever else it is, and then I can pass that along the line for generations.
Yeah.
And then I can get real labor, real resources, real property in the form of this little financial system where nothing is there.
Yeah.
So that Tani and Oom don't ever have to work.
I have two questions. The one is, so when I was at UWC, I was there at the height of fees muscle. 2014,
Ooh, fun.
2015. Yeah, it was. That's when you first wrestle with like that whole, because you're still a baby technically, man. That's when you first wrestle with like, yeah, but my degree. But yeah, these kids are starving. They're being pushed out of their housing. They can't afford anything. And you realize how selfish you actually are in those moments. Because you cuck what? You're like, yeah, and I must study again for this exam. It got moved.
Yeah.
And I mean, my inconveniences are valid, all this stuff.
Yeah.
But in that experience, that was in the first time where I got confronted with like, there's the small problems, but there's these bigger problems that makes people, they can't even appreciate the small problems, right? And I think what I wanted to sort of talk about is one of the demands that they made, I, at that time, didn't understand. But now, 10 years later, I completely understand. And that is decolonization. Can you speak to that, especially like to the audience? You know what I'm saying?
Just a little.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah, because just to touch that, I was at UCT at the time.
Yeah.
We obviously had the Rhodes statue.
Rhodes must fall.
And the Rhodes must fall.
Yeah.
Which was actually the first time I critically thought about my own race. Because at that time, I grew up in a bubble, Model C, got
Hundreds.
whatever, went to school, got a good education, got into UCT.
hundreds.
Yeah.
And these students were confronted by seeing this man on a horse every single day.
Yeah.
And who meant nothing to me.
Yeah.
But when I first thought of, when that happened, I actually thought about what this could mean to someone that actually suffered at that time.
But it means
And-
everything to me, actually. Not gonna lie.
So just setting the scene again
Yeah.
for you to go.
So I don't think anybody could speak to decolonization in one
Yeah.
like little soundbite, but I
Yeah.
can speak to
Say
like the
man
need
now.
for free. No, I can speak to the need for free education. Just
Okay.
for anybody who's listening and was like, fees must fall was a lust. Like, and I explained it to a friend this way. I said, imagine we were living on an island, like just small amount, maybe like 100 people, right? And people on the island learned how to fish, they learned how to sew, they learned like some health practices, they learned how to cook. And all the kids in the island went to one like little hut in the middle, and they were taught whatever needed to learn, so that as other people got older, the kids would then take over the tasks, and they would learn those skills so that everybody could survive.
Yeah.
We were like, okay, cool. Would you now charge those kids to learn those skills so that the island could sustain itself? We'd be like, no, you dof, because otherwise you would die. Like you would need people to cook, you need people to fish, you need people to make clothes, you need people to do healthcare and everything. Okay, cool. Now, what if I told you would charge them to learn, and if they didn't know how to learn those skills, they wouldn't be able to have those expertise, and then you wouldn't give them access to what they needed on the island to survive. You'd be like, well, then you're sentencing them to die. And they're like, oh, wait. Now, that's what happens when you cut people out of the education system. Doesn't matter if you cut them out of grade 1 or if you cut them out of tertiary education. If you make education a door to people having the means to survive, because you cut them out of jobs, you cut them out of the market, you cut them out of money, you're sentencing them to death. And if they don't have the means to get that education, or even worse, well, not or worse, but just as bad, you tell them, okay, to get the education, that's fine, but we're first going to put you into debt. So when you do get it now, you're going to spend a good 10 years of that time paying off debt. Maybe you can get a house, maybe you can get a car if you can get to work. So you'll spend the first decade or so of your life just barely surviving. Maybe.
Damn.
That's if you don't die from the stress of trying to make it, etc. Do you know what I mean? So when you break it down to like that little concept, then you like, why are we charging people for education? It's the only way to make society sustain itself. You have to give people the skills that the rest of society needs. And so it is crazy that like Fees Must Fall was portrayed as this very violent, aggressive movement when like the opposite wasn't shown, like how violent it is to exclude people from getting what they needed to survive. We're like, no, actually, sorry, he must die. You don't have 20,000 rand a year, Huskies. And that's what we were doing.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a very, poverty is violence. So, can't do decolonization, but that just Fees Must Fall.
Yeah.
If nobody has heard Fees Must Fall explained that way, I think that might,
Paint the picture.
yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Thank you for sharing that, though.
Pleasure.
GenC exclusive.
Why did that sound like a glow mail ad?
The mobile generation.
That was too accurate. That was wild. Okay, sorry. So I feel like I said I had two questions and I just threw it away.
threw the other one
I threw the other one away. But just like one thing I just want to sort of close out on this decolonization thing is I've had discussions with people who are from a different demographic. You get me? Like, yeah, inside palm.
Salam.
And so, part of how I got through to them was explaining to them that what you're saying is fair, but it's not yet just. There's no justice in what you're saying. And then when they got to like understanding, how justice works, I'm like, I'm proud of you for getting there. There's one more step, and that is to decolonize. Because a lot of like our systemic beliefs, like our religion, is colonized. A lot of our like understanding of just education, our understanding of existence is colonized.
Yeah.
And we need to decolonize because I was explaining to, I think I was on the podcast, that the cost of living should be a paradox or an antithesis. Why is there a cost to life? What are we doing? What are we actually doing here?
So just on the decolonization topic, right? So 1652, the pirate gets here, right?
Gang, yeah.
Yeah. Then
So was he the first one to show the signs?
so he gets here, right? Well, 1400s, the Portuguese get here, and then they get in their mood, and then the pirate gets here, and then the British get here, and then we get the Berlin Conference, and then we get, the 4 provinces, and then we get to where we are now, right? And so the question of decolonization is, at which point, and you're very right, we need to decolonize. Was 1994 decolonization?
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was equality. It wasn't even equity, it was equality.
something, but okay. But you know what I mean? And so it's like we had been stripped of so much
Yeah.
that I think when it even hit me a little bit, like when you said, can you talk to decolonization? I was like, it's so far from where we are now.
Yeah.
Like we've been taken so far, like
Yeah.
we literally 400 years from there that like for us to picture, like even me with what I know now, I can't even picture that far back. The best I can picture is maybe some kind of collectivist society that fits into this modern day one that we have. I don't even know how to picture a fully decolonized society outside of the one that is integrated with the international world. Like, I don't know what that looks like for us yet. I would love for us to get to that point.
Yeah.
But it's like, when you even bring up the conversation of cutting ties with the West of the EU, it's like, oh, how dare you?
Yeah.
It's like, that's an option.
Yeah.
Like, that is fully an option. Like, we can actually do, we can actually do that, no? And then we can actually decide on our own how we want to do this. And so I think it's, I don't want to say we're so far gone, but we're so far removed from where we were. It's like people are still twerking for capitalism. Like, we have so much work to do.
I was gonna say, to the extent where colonization got its upgrade and nobody really clocked, man. Because colonization is Britain. Imperialism is America. They perfected that thing. They made that thing into a prime version and nobody's talking about it.
Where do they not have a military base?
Broski! Yeah! Like, respectfully.
Yeah.
Like, that's for me. And the PR team is crazy. The PR team that's why we work for capitalism. That's why, because the music is just.
And show your toes.
Oh my God.
Nah, JP.
The views expressed on the podcast.
JP.
Because that was niche, bro. That was like,
Yeah.
he tapped into the color in me. I'll check.
So that's why they find this.
That's it.
So he likes to be like, and then in the meantime, he's like,
I said, I don't know if I said this on the recording, but JP's unintentionally sus. I'm intentionally sus. My mommy watches this and she knows me.
Salam.
But okay, look, I think we can talk till we blue in the face about just the injustices of the world. But I think what's important is that more people need to understand that, like, this status quo is not it. And it's not just about, like, okay, cool, we know that this is wrong, we need to then take the next step. And I think that's kind of where our generation are so audacious. We actually want to. You know, we actually, I didn't like what they did to Greta Thunberg though, where like she was on the climate thing and then like smile. But she's actually still talking about stuff. You know what I'm saying? So our generation is still trying. We need to keep the conversation, to keep the movement going. So
And I think, importantly, think about what you're saying. Think about what you're trying to do. And critically, just think. Just think. Because I think with enough behavior changes, you can start analyzing these things and making sure that you do actually think about what you're doing. Because I think it's a lot easier to support or go against a decision once you've actually thought about it. Like formed your own opinion and open that up to someone else's opinion of that same topic. And that's when you kind of wrestle with it and make sure that you find your way.
I hear that.
I was going to say last thing. Sorry.
Always the last thing.
No. With this election, man, one of the threats was that like our economy will crash. And I was like, don't threaten me with a good time. Because I need the price of houses to go down.
The whole episode. I know I'm not here for capitalism.
I'm talking about like if a certain party had to go into power, man. Then the economy would have crashed. And I'm like, and?
I always want to know what those like big blanket statements mean. Explain to me. Explain to me what you mean by that. Like, explain, because 90%
He's
of
not
us
asking me.
He's asking like 90% of us have 15% of the wealth. Does that mean instead of 15 we're gonna have 14?
Oh wait.
Like, are we gonna go from 15 to 12? We're gonna go like how? Like, are we gonna? Because if it's just 1%, like how is that gonna feel?
Yeah.
Are we going to go from 2 checkers bags to 1 checkers bag? Explain the scale so that I can know, and then is it going to go bigger?
Yeah.
Like, just tell me what to expect, because maybe
60 to 120.
You know
That's
what I mean?
No, 60, 16.
Because they said that with Zuma, and then the petrol was 12 rand a liter. What's it now?
Don't say that.
20
That's
odd.
aggressive.
20 odd,
That's
yeah.
aggressive.
Sorry. Not
So we like to.
Sorry, we're not supposed to ask questions like that.
That's valid. That's valid. That's valid.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the spirit of what I went into that election, I was like, no.
Yeah.
Say more. Like, you threaten more.
This is the thing, though. This is the thing. So what I have learned to do as like a socioeconomic political analyst,
Yeah.
is sometimes when I start these politicians, let them talk.
Yeah.
You're let off.
They threatening you with a good time.
like they if you ask them the right questions, they for free.
Yes.
They will tell you how
themselves.
dope they are. They will say it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, is that really how you feel? And then they're like, yeah. You're like, oh, thank you for your time. Cool. And then you post it and they're like, I was like, but are you?
You said what you said.
You said what you said.
For free. It's like, I didn't say it. I didn't use the K word.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ronaldo.
But I solemnly swear, though. I solemnly swear. Raw, that's my favorite. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's how I know I'm bad. I want to see more of that. I solemnly swear. Oh, this next 5 years is going to be lit, boy. So this game is called the Quizler. So how it works is, we've played this game before, right? So I basically mention 3 things and you guys try and identify the category. So if I say, for example, cod, bass, hake, that's type of
Fish.
quality.
Oh, wait.
Quality. Easy. So it's going to
It was
start...
a Thursday night for you now.
Yeah, somewhere.
Well done.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's gonna get progressively.
Yeah.
Okay, so Clifton, Strand, Blouberg.
Beaches.
Okay, be specific.
Wow,
Beaches in
okay.
Cape Town.
Beaches in Cape
Beaches
Town.
in
Oh,
Cape
okay.
Town?
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay,
Wow.
Denmark, Sweden, Norway.
Scandinavian countries.
Lovely, excellent answer. That's exactly what I needed to hear. Civic Ballard S2000.
Honda.
Yeah.
Capcom, Sega, Neo Geo.
Nintendo.
Gaming consoles.
Yeah. Well, what do you call it? I don't know. What's the I know what you're looking
You're
for.
close.
It's a Game Shop game, man. It's the arcade game, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's
What did you say, Sega? What?
There's like
Sega, Capcom, and Neo Geo.
Neo Geo.
It's
Is
the
it like
company that
emulated?
makes it.
That's
Five
good.
games, man.
That's good.
Yeah, he actually wins. You got to answer wrong.
Yeah,
What you wrong?
Why are you beating him? Don't
Wait, is it the right?
This is the joystick. And
Yeah.
this is
Sorry.
but yeah, gaming companies.
Yeah.
Okay. Igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic.
Power Rangers.
That was so quick, bro.
That's wrong. That's wrong, obviously.
Igneous?
Sedimentary and metamorphic.
Isn't it like? I feel like it's something like
Something to do with plants.
Okay, cool. I like this. I need this where it's one that you just don't have.
Yeah. I felt like
You
it
know
was
this,
something with rocks.
Oh, you don't? Right.
I felt like it was something with rocks. Is it not?
Is it plants?
It's kind of rocks. Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like it's
sedimentary
rocks.
rock.
Yeah.
It's the 3 types of rocks.
Yeah. Okay.
Well done.
Nice. Cool. Yeah.
In the comments, if you got it right, you got it right.
Oh, wait.
Okay, and then we have to.
Yeah,
okay,
okay.
from the bowl. A series of hypothetical questions.
Oh, yeah.
And this game is called Say Manau.
Yo.
I'm gonna read one.
Okay, sure.
Can I?
Yes, you can give that another one.
Yeah, so I'll start. Now I feel bad when JP doesn't get to read the same. Oh, sorry, JP.
Don't look at me, bro.
JP have it. Yeah, because you're the one that tells him what to do. So I'm gonna look at you.
Okay. Say now. You could only use 3 condiments for the rest of your life.
Oh, yo.
Yo, I must read that.
Please.
What would they be?
So this is specifically sauces that go on.
Wait, I did it wrong.
Yo. The advert today was brought to you by.
Okay, sorry, Jay, do it one more time. Do it one more
Okay,
time.
sure.
Do it one more time.
Say now.
Yeah.
You could only use 3 condiments for the rest of your life. What would they be?
So a person could have just said sauces. Maybe we have a colored audience. Don't do this.
Okay, sorry. Sorry.
Don't do this.
It's minted corn.
I must be decolonized.
Oh.
Nando's Pyrenees.
Pyrenees, that's specific.
No, but it's gang.
Nah,
though.
it's-
It's very
yeah,
liquor, but it's
that's-
always too little.
Yo, that bottle is Yo,
That's
2
always
points
too
of chips
little.
and it's gone.
Yeah.
Nando's Pyrenees.
Because the container is thick.
Pause.
Sriracha.
Oof,
Your
sriracha is-
sriracha is so good.
that lasts long.
Tanya chutney.
Onion chutney.
Okay, wait,
What
wait.
color bottle?
Huh?
Yeah, there's the green one, the blue one. They come in different. Or what's specific?
Blue.
The blue one.
Huh?
Dania chutney.
What are we talking about?
is he
Who
saying?
makes Dania chutney? What are you talking about?
The sauce. Okay,
What
maybe
blue
I'm
bottle
gonna
is this?
I'm on a different one.
What
sorry.
blue bottle
Sorry,
is
sorry.
this?
I was thinking about something else.
Oh,
No, it's fine. Continue.
are you talking about
Please,
green
JP.
chutney?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I was gonna ask him, are you talking about that excellent brand, that ones that like you use for samosa dip sometime? Because that Dania chutney is thick, maybe, but it slaps. On a force or
I'm scared to admit where I got the most recent one.
Okay. What? No, but what you say, to be fair though, it was probably like a Muslim auntie that put it on.
No, it was yo.
It had to have been.
Yes.
It had to have been. The culture was there.
Yay, that was not that Woolies. It wasn't that Danya chutney. No.
Words.
Yeah, no. Not that Sami Danya chutney. No.
Because what he's talking about is like
Yeah.
green chutney that like there's no weight, there's no joy.
I still want
in
you
it.
to show me this blue bottle you're talking about.
And it's
If you
only the
can.
lid. It's only the lid. But I'll
Okay,
I'll
not
show the
the
picture.
stuff itself.
No,
Don't eat blue things.
So it's a samosa dip
Word of
chutney,
advice.
but they have different variants. And
So we're
there's-
talking about the same
There's
thing.
the
The
green
excellent
one.
meat one.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's a green lid, there's a blue
Tamarind
lid,
sauce,
and there's a
meatball
red lid.
sauce.
That's that one where like it gets stuck in the lid and it'll like come out like that. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
That sound effect was so good.
Yeah,
That
like,
was an excellent sound
it comes
effect.
out like
It bloops out. I'm here for it.
That's so good.
That's-
Bloops.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm a tomato sauce.
Yeah.
Why
you
you
so
why you
shy
so
about
shy
it?
about it? Because you gave liquor spice.
What tomato sauce though?
Oh,
Because that's kind of important
No,
to me.
but the
also.
podcast is not sponsored. I'm not gonna tell you.
leaving opportunities
I'll
there.
tell you. I
it's
know.
fine.
That's my answer. 36.
if you know.
Because everything else is about the rani.
Yeah.
It's a bit
Yeah.
like you know exactly.
Yeah.
You immediately knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that first bitchy that.
Imagery, bro.
Yeah,
That falls out of the bottle. Like it's like wet.
The only time that like cheap tomato sauce slap is on slap chips, but like once like every 6 months. Because I can't. Because I feel like that was when I was young and I was allowed to eat. Because that maybe this dying. I was like, you were cutting the fish at the fisheries or something like, why is your hand stained?
Yeah.
Oh my
Can I
god.
like drop a story? I'll cut it out if it's gonna be too long.
Oh.
But like, wait, in the Philippines,
Go for it.
in the Philippines, when the Americans, I think it was the Americans that came there for war, whatever the case may be, and they missed having ketchup. So the Philippines didn't have like tomatoes like growing naturally there. So they used bananas to create tomato sauce and then just use red food coloring.
What?
So I tried it there, and it tastes like tomato
What's the
sauce,
sauce?
but it's made from bananas. It's very interesting. Yeah.
That's very interesting.
It's one of the stories where I'm like, I don't believe it.
No,
but like, I can't. Because they're both berries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so uncomfortable. That's so uncomfortable. They're both berries. Nah.
So I think from my side, I'll add Tabasco. Tabasco is one of a staple for me.
Tabasco over sriracha.
No.
you want both?
He had his list. But in terms of the 3 condiments that I will always have, I'll add Tabasco.
Okay.
I was gonna throw an honorable mention. That salad dressing from Spur is crazy.
That's my number one, bro.
But
he has the
number one,
That's
bro.
a crazy
That's my
sauce,
number
bro.
one.
Is that your number
That's
one?
my number
The
one.
fact that it's called the salad dressing is afshower. Because that thing new, it didn't matter what they could have called that thing kak sauce.
You didn't want to use it on salad.
Exactly.
But you remember back in the day when we were like lighties, they had like the salad bar where you could like
Yeah. You can go
uncapped
unlimited.
salad.
Oh, okay.
So I
Yeah,
guess
no one
that's
stood up
where.
for that.
Did you just say uncapped salad?
I guess that's where it originated.
That's so
bro.
good. That's so good.
Like, I heard it and I was like, that's kind of funny. We'll save it for later. And I was like, wait, what?
So buffer is unthrottled.
$6.99 a month.
Oh, please.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Say ma now. You could be a minister in our country.
Read it, bro. Read it.
What would you want to be minister of? And what change would you want to bring?
Yo, I feel like
No
the first one
pressure,
was funny.
Yo.
We can start. Like,
Yo,
we
please.
can go.
Yeah.
You can give him time.
Just give me an exam question. Yeah.
So, is there a minister of arts and culture?
Yes,
Yeah.
boss.
That was Gaten.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he's sports, arts and culture.
Yeah.
Yes.
All three.
Okay, arts and culture, right? I would, and I've spoken about this. So
Yeah.
I would find a way to champion our heritage and our history and our culture in a way that is monetary. I would improve the access to different language. Because I mean, again, we watch anime, we watch flipping Spanish shows, Narcos, K-dramas, money, all this stuff with subtitles.
Yeah.
We can watch our shows with subtitles. And it will give a lot of people from so many different backgrounds income. It will give them so many more like opportunities and stuff like that to share, because again, our stories aren't being told. There's a lot of languages that just don't get spoken in our country, or they do, but like not on the mainstream.
Yeah.
So that's what I would find a way to do. And yeah, that's
Nice.
Yeah. A bit of a, because no one's gonna have my answer. That's
No way.
Oh, you are struggling to think between education and international relations. Education, just because you would go ham on the education system and just make it so freaking comprehensive. But then also international relations and just blue tick the West. I don't mean that. Just
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was good for that elevator music.
Something like that. Something like that.
So
Do you want my ministry?
obviously,
Please,
no,
JP.
I mean, that's a you. No,
He tried to sneak out of that one. Huh?
I was gonna say something sexual. Now.
Yeah, no. I'm protecting our channel.
Go for
Is
it.
that how you said it? Okay. Interesting.
I was gonna say try to pull out.
I'm not judging. I'm just new year. I'm just.
There's only,
This is how you do
tell
things.
us, and also ministry is crazy. Tell us.
What ministry of pulling out? What?
Finance. Finance.
Why? No, but that's so obvious.
Exactly. But why aren't you saying anything?
Because I don't know if I what
Peer
to actually-
pressure.
Okay, yeah. Let me do Minister of Finance. So then I can allocate you some money for your sports and outing budget.
This bruh. This man. This bruh.
Is he flirting with you?
Easy. I don't know his mode.
Oh, yeah. No, it's fine. Like,
No,
we accept Jay.
Thank you,
yeah.
sir. Thank you.
We accept
At the end
Jay.
of the show, we like to give the guests an opportunity to do two things. Number one is sort of plug, promote any projects or pages that you are working on that you like people to share and people to know about. Feel free to just like drop that soon. And then the second thing, the big thing is provide a message to your younger self. Yeah, that's always, we start deep and we end deep.
Okay.
Pause.
So you can follow me. All my platforms, just go to darrencampher.com. You'll most likely find it on all the social media platforms at the same handle. And then also follow the collective.org.za for anybody who wants to be involved on any social justice projects. Speak to the collective.org.za. There'll be some avenues for you to take a deep dive there. Message to my younger self. Oof. I think it's the same message I've given across the board. Just always question everything.
Cool.
Question everything. And probably not to be so hard on myself. Yeah. Whatever the plan was, it wasn't going to go that way anyway. Doesn't matter how perfect the plan was, it was not going to go that way.
Yeah.
So just take life as it comes.
And I think if we haven't shown it enough, I thank you.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we've
That's-
had
that
such
was
an
really cool.
It was
engaging
a fun
conversation. And I think your authenticity always shines through everything that you do. And I think it's important. And I really hope that you keep that.
Please.
And I think, thank you for being who you are at the end of the day. Because I'm very sure, and I'm this has inspired a lot of others to start critically think and also be themselves on their own platform, which I think is great.
JP embodies like an uncle in the end of an episode.
Right?
And he
It's
gives you
so
this.
comforting. It's like such a warm
Like, if you're
so
wondering what's
grateful for
happening,
it.
that's what's happening. But no,
It's almost like tap into my Mondays or
oh my God.
Yeah.
But no, we had a great time. Thank you so
yeah.
much for
Thank you for
coming
having me.
all the way from wherever you came from.
we shall not disclose.
Yeah, and so again, if you like this content, just see on the audio
Wait, where was that
platforms,
point?
Tell them.
come through for your boo.
For your boo.
Please do like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell somewhere on their fingers. And we are out.
One of their fingers.
Peace.